Any other questions? There is a motion on the floor. Do you have the Morrow and Harrison? Yes? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Okay, we do have our last item, which is the executive session to discuss personnel. Traditionally, we open up this time for comments from staff, comments from council, should anyone choose to leave and not stay for the return after executive session. So I will ask staff anything from council before we go to executive session. No. Now before we do, I know there are some issues commented tonight, and we traditionally don't interact at that point. I will say that, you know, from the standpoint of EDC, we have not made a decision, nor have we extended a motion to drop out of the EDC or not fund it. The funding for EDC membership is in the budget, and there were questions raised by council to talk about that before we allocate those funds. So that's where we are with EDC. We have not chosen not to fund it or drop our membership with EDC. And then with respect to the viewpoint of the outside world looking in on Gardner, I think that is well recognized. I think it was recognized some time ago, and we have taken steps most recently to engage the local business community in feedback sessions, and those were published in our newsletter, what they felt were our challenges and what we should work on. And then we just recently engaged the outside world, if you will, in the form of Chairman Eilert and Bob Marcus, the president of Kansas City Area Development Council, and Pete Heaven, an attorney who has a wealth of experience in Johnson County, who talked to us about growth and visioning and what the governing body should think about going forward with respect to business and bringing business in. So we have, over the years, as governing bodies, sent some very conflicting messages to business, and there's absolutely no doubt about that. And I think we are moving in the direction of changing that. So we have had positive feedback from folks coming in, like Quick Trip, like Coleman. So, you know, we have had positive feedback about doing business in Gardner, and it's certainly my intent, I believe the intent of the council, that we are open to everyone, residents and businesses. With respect to the challenges around school security, I know that, I apologize, you weren't at the meeting when Captain Moore gave an update, and it is a complex issue, certainly, and it's not a challenge that can be solved with technical solutions only. It needs to be adaptive solutions to that involves more than simply officers on the ground or bulletproof glass or all those other things that go along. It's a societal issue. It's a whole host of things, and so it's not an easy process to fix. And I know the school district is working through that from the school protection. There are other public places that need that as well. So it is a complex issue. Something we will work on.
do have one question. I was looking at the minutes from the last meeting, and Captain Moore was mentioning that there was supposed to be a first meeting of the Defense of Our School Project Coalition last Thursday. I was wondering if you had anything to update you could provide us on that.
In the Friday memo I put in for last week, it said that we did attend the first one. From that, it's broken down into several different other workers. They said that in this meeting there'd be over 200 police officers and administrators from around the county, both Johnson and Miami County, involved in this process to take a real hard look at basically what we're doing, if there's things we can do differently, and if so, how do you implement it. So it's a long run-out process put together. It's supposed to go all the way through the end of April before it's completed. And we will be part of the process.
Hey, Captain Moore, well, I'm going to ask you because of the SROs, but do the SROs receive any special training or do they do anything in partner with school counselors or what have you to identify potential at-risk kids in situations? I mean, is there anything, because I agree with Dave, I mean, this is there's a bigger issue here than just,
right.
You know, so are there behavioral type things that are being, you know, assessed, or is there special training that's being given to help maybe address or identify things, to Mr. Benjamin's point, before they happen?
As far as special training goes to the SROs, not necessarily special training, but they do work hand in hand with the counselors of the school, pretty much on every kid they deal with. You know, the counselors are the ones that are trained to do that. They do their needs assessment, and then they get the SROs involved from the get-go on those ones that have potential problems, and then they're dealt with through the system.
And that's been that way for most of the program has been in Gardner.
Right.
It is a very good program. I know the building administrators like it, and they are very close with their SROs as well from the standpoint of what they what the administrators do from a discipline perspective in addition to what's going on in the counseling and the SROs. So we've been very fortunate in Gardner that all of our SROs have developed good working relationships with the counselors and administrators, certainly at the facilities, but I think more importantly with the kids. And so that's very, very, very positive as well. And I think thinking here, we know, we hear, we see things that are happening, and I don't want to say it's the school district's responsibility to update the world of what's going on, but I think, as long as if we do this on a regular basis, just to make sure that folks know that something's happening, that, things are moving, and, within the bounds that we can. I think it's important to know that.
And with that said, Mayor, does Dr. Gillhouse know that we're committed in an additional resource to the overall, safety of our children? I know you met with him about a month ago.
Oh yeah, he's very much aware. I think the board's very much aware. Certainly that. From the standpoint of how staff is being instructed and what's going on, a lot of this is I guess that Jim can speak to it. It's being developed as we go.
Dr. Gillhouse was the same meeting I was at Thursday.
Yeah. So,
I mean, we're all in the same room, working toward the same goal.
anyone else?
Yeah, I had two different things. I'm sorry that we're getting a little long with our
No, that's okay.
Cheryl, one thing I wanted to ask, it's come up in my year on the board several different times about the cost recovery studies and things. I wondered if possible, maybe by the end of the second quarter, we might at least have a summary of what that would entail, what the cost and times would be, if there's any availabilities of industry standard studies that we might be able to look at to see what the code. Maybe someone else has done some of this work for us, that maybe the groups that we participate in. So